I think it's time I stick up to you. Your ways of doing things around here are barbaric and utterly disgusting.
Quit your yapping, you're talking like an animal, and by the sound of it, I'm gonna have to put you down like one.
What just happened? Where am I?
I'm a time traveler from the future, and I'm conducting an experiment on racism. Can I see your reaction to modern-day racism?
I'll do it if it means getting out of that situation back there.
Take a look at yourself and your history. You don't look like a goddamn nigger to me. It's a negative word, and the white man made gave it a name to dominate and trade.
As you could see, this is what people deem to be racist.
Please say I could stay here. This doesn't seem that bad.
Hey, welcome to my channel. If you didn't like that intro, well, sorry to say it, but this channel is probably not for you. When it comes to things like racism, as a Afro-Latina bisexual trans woman who usually doesn't give a shit about stuff like this and isn't politically correct myself, I feel that racism has lost all meaning. Back in the day, racism used to mean hatred. It used to mean pure malice, treating others as lesser, treating others as if they don't belong or they're lesser than human and that they don't matter. In the modern day, it means calling a white woman racist for having a fucking hairstyle in a video game. So I figured I'd talk about it. I think this is utterly ridiculous. It's just stupid. Like, oh my god, especially as a black person, people think, oh my god, where do I even start in this video? There's like so many things I could bring up, but I'm going to try and get to my topics one at a time. So I'm going to start with giving you a hypothetical. So let's say there's some white guy. He's born to a family in America, and he is taught by his mother that some Asian people eat dogs, and some cultures do that. And he's shown pictures of it. He's shown, articles about it. So he learns that. He meets someone from one of those cultures that does that, and I'm not saying the whole culture does it. I'm saying there's some people who do that. It's not a lie that some people do that. I'm not saying it's the majority even. Some people do that. And then he meets someone from one of those specific towns who lives right next to one of those specific places that sells it. And then he asks them in a polite way, oh, hey, have you ever eaten a dog before? I want to try one. Now, then, if you saw that in a tweet or something, you'd call that racist. And I don't like that. Or if you draw an Asian character, and I'm not saying like stereotypical caricatures, I'm saying with slanted eyes or whatever you want to call it, manifolds, I don't remember the word, because I'm not an eye doctor, I shouldn't have to know the word. Which Asian people do have that, some of them. The little, their eyes look slightly different. It's like saying, oh, I'm black, I have darker skin. Like, you get what I mean. Like, even acknowledging, like, if I say, like, okay, hey, look at this race, and look at this race, they look different. People would say that's racist. Not even saying one looks better, one looks worse, just saying they look different. And I fucking hate that in today's society, that everything that is like non-issues like that has to be racism. Or I don't know if you heard of this one, but microaggressions. So what they are is, this is hard to explain because I'm not overly sensitive and overly politically correct, but from what I understand, it's like not explicit racism or something. It's like unintended, but also it can be intended, where it's like, one example I was given a long time ago by someone who like believes in this shit, I don't believe in it, is if you tell a black person they're very articulate with how they talk, like they talk well, that it's racist because you're implying that black people don't talk right or that they can't talk in an educated way. And it's fucking stupid. Or if you ask someone who looks, well, I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound racist. Like, see, that's my whole point. I have to walk on fucking eggshells just to say what I'm trying to say. So, okay, let's say you live in a predominantly white area, right? And you meet someone who looks like, you know, Latino, or maybe they look Indian, and I mean Indian like fucking curry India, not Native American. They look like that. So you're like, oh, where are you from? That is considered a form of microaggression, and it's considered, oh, wow, you're assuming they're not from America because they don't look white or look this way. And I'm like, dude, you know how many immigrants are here? And that's not, I don't even mean that in a bad way. Like, compared to Japan, compared to Mexico, compared to pretty much like almost any other country in the world, especially compared to places like Africa, America's like the only place where we have a bunch of people who moved here rather than always lived here. Like, we have a really diverse, like, America's so diverse. There's even states that are minority majority states, meaning there's like underrepresented people make the majority of the state. Some other examples is like, forgot that I wanted to put this in the video, but a couple years back, there was this channel. Well, the channels existed for a while, but they made this shitty fucking video where, so, you know, orcs in, you know, video games and Lord of the Rings, whatever, orcs in fantasy. Like swords, medieval shit, and there's orcs. They're usually green, fat, ugly. Some fucking video game channel, and they weren't rage baiting, they were being completely serious. I'm going to show you the clips in a second. They were all like,
much of the recent conversation on orcs points out that characterizing a whole species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent might be harmful to real-world groups regularly mischaracterized as ugly, warlike, and malevolent.
And it's like, what the fuck are you on? Like, actually, what the fuck are you on? And then they show a picture of a fucking orc next to a black old woman, and it's like, what the fuck are they trying to say? Like, another thing I don't get is, okay, let's say there's someone and they're black, white, whatever, just whatever race, and they're like, oh, I want to date someone of my own race. No one cares, right? But then a white person says, I want to date someone my own race, and then it's racist. Someone says they don't want black kids, and then, oh, yeah, that sounds racist, but then you don't question why. You just go straight to calling them racist. But if you were to ask them, some people are like, well, I have a hard time styling, what is it called? Afro hair, curly hair. And I have a hard time cleaning it and doing that stuff, so they don't want kids with hair like that. And yeah, it could happen with other races too. Other races could get hair like that, but don't lie and act like it's not common for black people to have curly hair. I just fucking hate this shit. Generally, the fucking race debates and shit on Twitter are horrible. Just talking about like, oh yeah, black people can't be racist. It got so bad, it got into a kid's cartoon.
I think she just called you a racist, Benny. Black people can't be racist? I agree. Racism is prejudice plus power.
And it used to be, oh, everyone laughs at these people. Like, a long, long time ago, Resident Evil 5, I think it came out, and then people were trying to say it was racist because since you're in Africa, you're killing black zombies.
It's in Africa. It's been in Antarctica. It's been, I think, in Spain. It's been in the Midwest. It wasn't racist then. Why should it be racist now? It's in Africa. Have fun with the game. Play the game.
Most people have not experienced an actual injustice in their life. And by that, I mean like true racism or true, like, not being hired for being black or something. Instead, they have to get mad at me making racist jokes or a video game being like not comfortable for them to play because they don't like the dialogue and shit. But people who make racist jokes and shit, they understand the true injustices of the world. They actually could go, oh wow, this is actually horrible, blah 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 blah, this is that, instead of going, wow, you're pretty racist. And then that's all they said to like a fucking dude. There's people, I'd have to find it, I swear to God, there was a fucking tweet about, so you know, the whole black people stereotype about what the fuck are they called? Fire alarms. How they just, or smoke detectors. They don't change the batteries or whatever, so you hear the chirp. Someone was trying to say it's racist to comment that under black people's post, even though it's like the least harmless thing ever. Speaking about the writing of shows, I hate how political some shows have gotten when it comes to racism. They have to like include it to be like, wow, black people, they suffer so much. I, as the white woman of the writing team, will avenge you by showing others how hard and horrible you have it in the world. And I hate that because oh my god, I grew up with so many people around me who were like, "Oh, I'm the white savior. You've struggled enough. Oh my god." And it's like, stop. It reminds me of, okay, for reference, I'm autistic. I don't know if my, no, I don't want to say fans because this channel is small. I doubt anyone's devoted to this channel. But I'm autistic and have like other shit, like I'm have ADHD. And when I was younger, I would tell an adult or a teacher or whatever, "Oh, I have autism or whatever. So sorry if I don't understand things or something, or sorry if I talk strangely to you." And then they start talking to me like I'm a fucking dog, and they're like, feet down, whenever I put my legs on a chair or rest them on a table or something, and they would talk to me in a high-pitched voice like they're talking to a damn dog. That's how I feel when people are like, "Wow, you've suffered so much. I can only imagine the oppression you've gone through as a black person." And it's like, oh my fucking god, dude. Number one, I'm an adult just like you. Don't talk to me as if, like, you know what I mean? They have that tone of voice, or like, "Oh my god, I wish that you didn't have to go through," like, fucking, like I'm a child or something. Number two, it's like I've only experienced racism like once in my life. Like, and what I mean is, like, these people think like if you're black, you're just gonna lose the jobs and shit just because you're black, and that people are gonna like get into road rage accidents and shit because you're black and they're white or whatever. The worst thing I've ever faced was by someone, number one, she wasn't white. Number two, it was my friend's grandma, and she would always, even if I had a job at the time, and even if I just got a job, she'd be like, "When are you gonna move out? When you like?" And I know it was racism because my friend told me she's racist and doesn't trust black people. So she would always tell me, "Oh, when are you gonna move out of your house? When are you gonna move out of your house? Do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you pay the bills? Do you pay the bills?" And all that over and over again, even though at the time I was like 18, just freshly 18. And she would always ask shit like that, expecting me to be like Mr. Money. And it was like stupid as hell. But even then, that was just some old lady being annoying. That, like, people act like America is so, because for reference, yes, I do live in America. And I hate just the topics of when race gets brought up. When I was in school, right? Same school that when I was still in the same school as the story when with my friend's grandma. When I was in that school, I forget what the exact assignment was. I think it was about writing a assignment on a right that not many people in America have, or not anyone in America has. And most people chose the right to security because police could only do so much and things like that. If not, they chose the right to privacy because privacy, as you may know, the internet kind of ruined that. But long story short, I was writing it about the right to security, and they wanted me to make it controversial or whatever, or like, I don't know what the word would be, I guess polarizing. So I said, should we lower the age to own firearms to 16? Right? And then I put a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse. I wrote the whole thing, and they didn't have a problem with how I wrote it or anything. They were okay with it, except They wanted me to make it about race. Like they didn't care about my theme itself. They were okay with the theme, but they wanted me to insert race into it. Like, oh, how many people die by gun crime that are black versus white? How many white people own guns? How many black people own guns? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, why? Like, and that pissed me off because that was nothing to do with the assignment. That was nothing to do with what I chose. And they told me that it was fine, but they told me I wouldn't get the full grade if I didn't include race in, like, I'm dead, like, so fucking serious. That had nothing to do with it at all. That wasn't the subject. That wasn't the assignment. They just wanted me to include race into it for no reason. And to this day, that pisses me off because that had no fucking right to be in my fucking thing. And it was obvious that, like, since they're more like politically correct or whatever, I guess woke, I don't know, I'm gonna probably start saying shit like that. Because to be honest, okay, I do want to make a slightly political videos on this channel, but I don't want to become a political commentator. If you want references of what I might make videos about that are slightly political, look at my representation is in progress video, which probably some of you who watch that video are watching this. So, I mean, that's technically already a political video. Also, I mean, the r/our streets okay video is kind of political, not in the, oh wow, we should vote for Trump. Anyways, fucking, what was I going on about? I just want to make videos about more controversial topics like this because shit like this pisses me off, and I feel like I'm one of the few trans women with these opinions, and it just really pisses me off. I'm not saying I want to be like a Blair White just like bullying people, but at the same time I'm not saying like people don't deserve to. Anyways, fucking oh my god, I lost track of what I was talking about. Okay, we'll just go back to what the video's about because I'm going on a whole fucking rant. So sorry about that. Anyways, wow, you need power, not just prejudice. You need power to be racist. And it's like, dude, the average white person does not have power over you. They're just as broke, if not broker, than you. Like, the average white person isn't just some mayor or CEO or someone who has any power for that matter. Maybe they own a house or maybe they're renting, but that's about the only power they have, just like anyone else. I don't get where this thing comes from, like, oh, we lack power. Like, I don't think, unless, like I said, you're a mayor, a cop, or someone with authority, you don't have power over anyone. I guess if you're like a manager at Wendy's or something and you threaten to fire people over disagreements, you have power, but that could be anyone. I live in a minority majority state, so most of the managers, most of the, people with authority here are not white. So when I hear stuff like that, it just makes me pissed off and like, cause dude, they expect like, yeah, you could bring up stuff like Obama was the only black president, but if America was as racist as you say and as dangerous as you say, would we have even had a singular black president? Would we have black people in fucking the government? Like, would we have black people in the military and all this other shit? No. It's so stupid. I think I'm gonna make a video like this for sexism and also for like homophobia / transphobia, because people, I swear, they overstep lines with how things should be dealt with. Because I bet you half the time someone is called racism, fuck, that was a blunder. Anyways, anyone's called a racist in the modern day, I bet you like maybe 90% of the time they were making a joke, they were asking a question, they didn't intend, like, long story short, for racism to be considered racism in my eyes, it has to be malicious in nature. It has to intend to treat others poorly and to be rude and mean or whatever you want to say. It can't just be like another thing, that little segment I put at the beginning of the video, that song, well, I don't know if I could say that word on YouTube. They just said it with an accent, so I don't think YouTube's gonna have a problem with it. If not, I'll beep it out. Which I'll probably beep it out in general, but that song is literally, well, they're covering a song. That's not the original song. But the original song is by a band of pretty much full white people. The singer's a white guy. But if you look at the lyrics, it's trying to uplift black people. So, you know what I mean? But then people would say it's racist because they're saying the N-word. But you don't, I feel like words have to be more nuanced than that. It's not just, oh, you say this thing, that means you're this thing. Like, I feel like that's the other thing I want to talk about is how people say there's an N-word pass. That they don't mean it in the way that, oh, I gave you the N-word pass, that you could say it whenever. What they mean by that is like, let's say there's a white guy and a black guy who are friends. The white guy could say the N-word, and then if the black guy is okay with it, then technically he has the pass because he's able to say it around that guy when they're alone and he won't get mad. And that's what people mean. They don't mean, oh, you could say it whenever you want. But even then, I'm one of those people where I feel like that's another thing I'm going to probably put a couple of screenshots on here where, oh yeah, I bet you won't say the N-word in front of a black person. Why? Because they're going to get violent over a word. And I don't think it makes you racist. Yeah, you could say it's offensive. I don't disagree that it's offensive, but I feel like there's a bunch of context. Are they saying a joke? Are they singing a song? And yeah, you could say those are shitty arguments, but it's like, since when should a word have so much power? I don't remember who said this, but a long time ago I heard that if everyone's an N-word, well, I guess I could say nigga, I'm black. If everyone's a nigga and we stop getting mad over it, the word has no more power. You can't, okay, have you tried to make a slur for a group of people that's never existed before? It doesn't work. And the reason I say that is these black people on Twitter, they call white people ghost crickets, they call them cracker, they call them this, they call them that. But white people don't care because those words don't hold weight. So my point is, if everyone's a nigga, then literally, dude, it doesn't hold any power against anyone anymore at that point. Racists can't use that word as a weapon to demean people if it doesn't even get them mad in the first place. It's like when my friends call me retarded and I say retard too. It's like it's used so much to the point that it literally just doesn't. It's the same thing as saying idiot or stupid. You wouldn't get mad if someone said you're stupid or a moron. So, you know what I mean? It just has to become so overused that it means, you know what I mean? That's one of the few words where I think it should mean nothing. And you could say, oh, well, it has history to it. It should never change. But it's like, dude, I feel like okay, I need to word this carefully because people are going to take it the wrong way. But I feel like some things in the past, we don't have to study it and be like, oh my god, this will happen again, history will repeat itself, because we're in the timeline where so many things are, like, so many places now are so accepting. For example, as a trans woman, I think you've seen, well, if you're a quote-unquote fan of the channel, you've seen my breast implant review. So I literally look like a oh shit, I have to censor that. Well, I look like a visible trans woman. I do not pass, and I have boobs and dress feminine. I've dressed in skirts in public and shit. The worst I get is an old person looking at me weird. Nobody's ever said anything. One guy I think laughed, but it was hard to tell if he laughed at what his friend said or if he laughing at me because his friend said a joke. Either way, Nobody's like stabbed me. Nobody's went up to me and said, "Oh my God, you're such a da 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 da." No one's yelled at me. So I think people need to realize, well, yeah, there's people who are going to use words or treat you differently because of your race. It's not the same America it was like 90 years ago. You're able to get a job, you're able to make friends, you're able to be successful. Do racist people still exist? Yes. But frankly, those people are usually unsuccessful. They cannot find work if they're exposed. Usually they lose their jobs. We're in such a good time now. Yes, I'm not going to say like you've never experienced racism. You can. You could have shitty family members, you could have shitty people in your school. You could be the only black person in a school and be driven through hell. But I think that, like I said many times, we need to realize things like slavery and shit are never going to happen again in America. And other countries, that's fucked up because those countries still have that shit. But in America, at least, we're not going to have that shit. When it comes to, like I said, I feel like the history behind the word has to just go away at this point. And I don't mean just overnight. I'm saying it will take time. But if everyone uses the word and everyone is the word, then it means nothing. Let me give you a little background. Idiot, moron, stupid, and other words have the same meaning as retard. They started out as medical words for people who were mentally disabled, or I think some of them weren't just mentally disabled, they were just words to describe someone under a certain IQ point. So I believe, I could be misremembering, but moron in particular is for people who are under an IQ of 70, which by the way is really, really low. So that means essentially people who are mentally disabled. But those words, they're said so much now, you probably didn't even know they used to mean that for those people. You probably didn't even know that that used to be a medical term to describe people like that. You hear idiot, moron, whatever. You hear that in cartoons for kids. You just hear that as an everyday thing. You hear that in a Disney sitcom. You idiot. Even my mom could do that. And she's a moron. So that's my point. Over time, once a word becomes so used, it becomes inoffensive. Well, it's offensive, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not as bad as it used to be. Or if you look into history of other words like harlot, whore, bitch, stuff like that. But if you look how it's used now, yeah, it's offensive, but it's hell of a lot tamer than it used to be. I think that's all for this video. I don't know. I know this video is going to go over badly. Like, very badly. Like, people are going to be mad. However, I'm hopeful that I'll find the people that are like me and the people that could, I don't know what you'd call it, associate with the channel or whatever. Other than that, all I really have to say is this video was also made to like scare off certain types of people. Thanks for watching.